Saturday, and I'm a little annoyed right now because as much as I was frustrated about my book printing issues, I wasn't that frustrated because I have had a printing issue in the past, and it was extremely easy for me to just email Amazon and say, hey, this doesn't look very good, and they sent me a new copy. And actually, I think that the issue at the time that I asked them to replace the copy for was the spine being off, which I've now learned that actually they probably shouldn't have replaced that for me, because I now know that they allow for like a little more than 3 millimeters of like overlap or like, shifting, which that doesn't sound 3 millimeters when you just say that out loud. It doesn't sound like a lot, but if you actually look at a book and get out a ruler and put it up there and see what 3 millimeters of like shifting is, that is like a ton of shifting. That could be really, really terrible looking if it really was 3 millimeters off, and yet they will not replace those. So anyway, maybe they shouldn't have replaced the copy that I asked for, years ago, but they did, and it was really easy to do. So I figured that this would be pretty easy. I didn't think, after learning about the 3 millimeters thing, I was like, okay, they're probably not going to replace the copies that had the spine issue, because it was not 3 millimeters of distance. It was less than that. So I was already accepting that that was probably not going to happen. But I just got an email back from the Amazon person who said that in regards to the issue where the like words are doubled up and there's like a weird shadow effect and stuff. Oh my gosh, my hair is ridiculous right now. I'm sorry, I just woke up. Anyway, in regards to that, they said something about color variance, that some amount of color variance is to be expected, and that we recommend you use these kinds of colors, as if it's my fault that it was printed this way. And this has nothing at all to do with color variance. You know what does have to do with color variance is the fact that my Working with the Enemy books were very different, which didn't show up very well in the video, but in person, like one is a lot more yellowy and the other one is more like a goldenish orangey looking color. That's color variance. And you know what, Amazon? I didn't tell you about that. And I didn't ask you to replace those because I realized you're probably not going to, because some amount of color variance is to be expected. Because I'm a reasonable person, and I just got a shipment of 35 books and only 6 of them were like perfectly good. Like the spine was where it should be and the colors weren't wrong. Only 6 of them were that way. And yet I'm only asking you to replace 8 of them, which are absurdly just very terrible and basically unsellable. And you're telling me that it's color variance and it should be expected? No. So I had to spend this morning taking more pictures and sending them another email and saying, this is not about color variance. Please look at these pictures closer and pay attention, because this is just not acceptable. You can't tell me that you're not going to replace these books. You printed them wrong. I did not do anything wrong. I didn't use the wrong colors or colors that might have an issue, because this isn't about colors. It's about you printing this wrong. So, yeah. I'm very frustrated, but I mean, I'm still not quite super irritated, because I just am so like, maybe I'm giving them too much credit, but I'm like so confident that this is obviously their problem, that like it would be insane for them to not replace these books, right? So I'm still kind of expecting that now that I've sent them more pictures with good copies and bad copies so they can compare, that they'll be like, oh, okay, we see it now. And that's definitely our problem. So, yeah, hopefully that will be the case. But if it's not, then I don't even know. Let's not think about that. Hopefully that'll be the case. And just to refresh your memory, because I think it's been a while since we've talked about this. It might not have even been in this vlog that I showed you examples. So this is what like moving on is supposed to look like. See, my name is just like brown. It's not, there's no shadow effect on it or anything. It's just brown, right? Well, look at this one. That's crazy. Good morning, everybody. It is October 10th, Tuesday morning. I'm sitting on the ground with the cats. Well, Gallifrey's leaving now because Melody's in here. And that's just how she be sometimes. So I didn't film anything on, the last time I talked to you was Saturday. I didn't film anything on Sunday or Monday because I just kind of wanted to enjoy the weekend and chill. But I did get a few things done. So I started to outline my prequel novella for Marriage Material, and it's coming along pretty well. I think I have like a pretty good outline. The only issue I have with it is that I don't feel like there's really enough conflict between the couple. It's really hard to write about people who want a relationship because then there's not really a lot of conflict. The question throughout the whole story is, well, then why aren't you just being with this person, right? So you have to come up with a lot of good external conflict, like, well, I can't be with them because of some really important thing. And the story I'm working on, I just don't know if that conflict is there, and I don't know if I need to add more conflict or not, because it is a novella, so I don't want the conflict to be super big, because I'm, the word count is small, so I need to get to the end game quickly. So maybe it's good that the conflict isn't super strong, because basically as it is right now, the story is about Rachel. She is a very hopeless romantic, like super wants to be in love kind of person. She gets a job as an assistant to a showrunner of her favorite reality dating show, and she's super excited to get to see all the behind the scenes stuff, and she loves love and romance, and she's just really, really hopeful about it, and maybe kind of even thinks that being on the show and learning, all the behind the scenes stuff might help her in her actual dating life. And she meets Theo, who is a cameraman on the show, and he isn't really that interested in this show exactly. He's just interested in filmmaking, and this is like a way for him to get some some stuff on his resume, and he's been working here for a while, and he's kind of disillusioned by the show, which Rachel Clee becomes that way as well. Oh, Melody, you're just gonna be noisy in here with your bag. So anyway, as Rachel's working on the show, she realizes that it's not what she thought it was going to be, and it's a lot more, people are a lot more shallow, and a lot of people there don't actually really want to find love, and she's kind of seeing behind the scenes and realizing that it's all kind of fake and not what she thought it was. And meanwhile, she's, going on some dates, and they're not going well, and she's feeling kind of hopeless. And of course, Theo is there to comfort her, and they kind of become friends working together. So my problem is the conflict of, in my mind, I don't really think of, I don't know if I want to do the whole thing where Theo is like just super against romance and doesn't want to be in a relationship, because I didn't really want to go that route with it. So I was thinking he would probably be also reasonably interested in a relationship, but just hasn't found the right person yet. I'm not trying to do the grumpy sunshine trope exactly, although maybe I should be because that is a really, really popular trope. So I don't know. I guess that is something to consider. But I just wrote a grumpy sunshine book for this series because book 3 is very much grumpy sunshine. So I don't know if I'm going to go that route or if he is not going to be grumpy about romance and he is just like a nice, sweet guy and they just become friends. But then if that's the case, then I don't know what the conflict in the story is of why they wouldn't just start dating and be together. There is a minor conflict of like the fact that they work together, but that's such a, I don't know. These days I just feel like that's a really, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not believable to me that two people who really want to be together would just let that stop them, especially when one of them just got this job, although it is like a big dream of hers, so she probably doesn't want to get fired and she does want to like, do well here. But the other guy doesn't even really care about working in this particular place. So it's like if they really love each other, he could just say, oh, okay, well, I'll just go work somewhere else then. And then we can be together. So it's not a big conflict to overcome. But again, since it's a novella, maybe I don't want it to be a super big conflict to overcome because they're going to have to overcome it pretty fast. So I don't know. I'm leaning towards not the grumpy sunshine trope, and I'm leaning towards just the fact that they work together being the only conflict. But please let me know in the comments if you have any thoughts on that. Do you think that's enough conflict for a romance novella? And then the rest of the story is kind of about them getting closer and her trying to figure out what she wants to do with her career, and he ends up, they're kind of commiserating about the fact that the show is like really fake and it's not what she thought it was at all. And he kind of says, because of his insights of having worked there for a long time, that he thinks it probably, like, one of the reasons why it ends up this way is because the couples don't actually really have time to get to know each other, and the dates are all just like really glamorous and they're not really about getting to know each other. And so basically by the end of this novella, because it's a prequel to the Marriage Material series, Rachel comes up with the idea for Marriage Material, the reality show. And so, this is her origin story, the origin story of the dating show that my whole series is about. Rachel is going to create that show and pitch it to someone at the end of this novella and get a green light to start working on it. So then when we get to the first book in the Marriage Material series, it's like 11 years later, they're on season 11, Rachel's having her first baby, and she's kind of passing the torch off to someone else and saying, I'm ready to kind of like focus on my family and building that now after I've built this great show that I'm proud of. So that's another aspect of the novella that I want to focus on and make sure is that I need for Rachel to be very family oriented and to be someone who really, really wants a family, but also wants to create this show and make this work. Because I need for her to create this show and run it for like 10 years, but I also don't want people to feel like this like super awesome like girl boss who is very career oriented. Like in the next book, she's just like giving up her career to have a baby. So I want to kind of set up and foreshadow the fact that while she is excited about this show, she also is very, like, her real dream is to have a family and to get married and settle down and stuff. So I'm trying to figure out how to make that happen to where the prequel novella feels satisfying in the end, even though she's not going to get that yet. Like, that's her real dream, and she's not going to get that dream quite yet. Although, Ooh, I just realized I could do maybe an epilogue that jumps forward to like 10 years to when she finds out that she's pregnant and when she and Theo decide like, okay, now's the time. Now you should take a step back from your job because you have this now, and that's a really good thing. So I'm trying to figure out why it would be that this woman who really wants a family would wait 10 years to do that. But I mean, I could see that happening though if you create a new show that's really popular and going really well. Maybe you're probably also making a lot of money and you're enjoying doing that. It could be easy to get caught up in that and end up accidentally waiting that long even. So I'm not sure if I want it to be an accident or if I want it to be that Theo wants to wait and they're like compromising, but that feels like something people might, I don't know, that might not go over very well with readers if he's like making her wait 10 years to have a baby when she like really, really wants that. So anyway, those are the things I'm wrestling with. If you have any suggestions, please leave them below in the comments because I'm not going to write this novella before this before this video comes out. So you've got plenty of time to help me figure this out. So anyway, I've been talking for a while and I was not going to do that this time. Oh, hi, Melody. You just patiently waiting for pets? Anyway, today is Tuesday. We have 2 clients, and if we can get those 2 clients done at a reasonable time, we might go see A Haunting of Venice today. Because we were gonna maybe go see it yesterday, but we didn't. So we might do that today. But as far as work stuff, that's pretty much what I've been doing this weekend, getting that novella outlined and just doing some other admin related things like setting up newsletter stuff, and which, by the way, I'd also kind of like to do a video about that. So if you're interested in that, please let me know in the comments about just kind of the basics of how, like, what I do with newsletters and with swaps and stuff, because that's something I did not know anything about when I became an author, and I've learned a lot about it, so I thought maybe I could kind of pass on some information about how to do that, although, like, a lot of other people have already done that, and I'm sure there's plenty of resources out there for you to learn how to do that. But I don't know, maybe I'll show you what my newsletter system is like. But for now, I am going to go and get ready for work, and yeah, I'll talk to you later. Hello! It is later on Tuesday, and it's about 12:20, and in 9 minutes, we're going to the movies. We're gonna go see A Haunting of Venice, or The Haunting of Venice, or A Haunting in Venice. I don't remember what it's called, but we're seeing it. And then we're gonna go out to dinner, and I probably won't really be talking to you guys because I don't like vlogging in public while I'm on a date with my husband. So I will talk to you guys later if I do anything important later. I feel like all you guys are ever gonna get to see is me in this shirt because what can I say? It's cozy, okay? I wear it all the time. So we just got home from movie and dinner, which is insane because we went to work today. We only had 2 clients, so we had time to go to the movie, which started at 12:45. So we have went to work and a movie and dinner, and now we're home in pajamas, and it's 4:30. So, yeah. But it was really great. I'm not going to say much about the movie because, of course, I don't want to spoil anything. It's awesome. As usual, Hercule Poirot is amazing. I'm very excited about him and Benoit Blanc, like, both. Oh my gosh, what if they did something together? That would be awesome. Okay, it's not gonna happen though because those movies are like very different vibes. Agatha Christie movies and Knives Out movies are like very different, but that would be pretty neat. But anyway, it was really good. I will say out of the 3 new Poirot movies that have come out in like the past few years, this one was probably my least favorite. Okay, I'm interrupting myself right now because I got a little bit carried away and I started saying some things that are not exactly spoilers because I don't tell you like who done it or anything, but if you're like me and you just really don't want to hear anything at all, then maybe skip ahead a little bit. But I think that's largely due to the fact that I kind of accidentally was extremely suspicious of someone throughout the whole movie, and then that person was like had done the thing I was suspicious of. So I don't know, like that's not too much of a spoiler, I don't think, but it just, I think kind of by the end of the movie I kind of felt like I had already figured some things out, even though I actually hadn't figured out anything really, but I don't know, it was like not very surprising to me, I guess. Which is very rare for me. I am usually always surprised and never figure anything out. I'm a very good like reader or viewer to have for a mystery because I'm always gonna be like, wow, you were brilliant, that was amazing, I never thought of that, because I just don't figure things out ever. So this was one of those rare times where I was like not super surprised. Anyway, done with mild, light spoilers there. But yeah, I really liked it, but not quite as much as the Death on the Nile and the Murder on the Orient Express, which that one I actually already knew like the storyline of that book because I had never read the book, but I think I had seen like the old movie or something of that one. So when I saw that first movie, I knew what was gonna happen, but it was still really good. But Death on the Nile was really fun for me because I did not know anything at all about that story, and I managed to avoid watching like a single trailer of the movie. I literally went into that having no clue other than that Gal Gadot was in it. That was all I knew, and I love her, so that was exciting, but I think that one's been my favorite so far for that reason. But this one was great and kind of spooky, and it was really fun to see Tina Fey in like a more serious role. I've never seen her do like kind of a more serious drama. I will say I do prefer her in comedy, I think. I think like she's really good at comedy, but I mean she wasn't bad in this, so that was interesting. I think it was just like a little weird for my brain to like I think in my brain she has been typecasted a little bit too much to where it was a little jarring that she was in like a serious role. It was hard to take her seriously for me. But anyway, the movie was great and you should see it if you're interested in that kind of thing. Also, we watched a really great movie last night called Totally Killer, which is on Amazon, and it is like a teen slasher kind of thing with time travel, and it was super fun and really, really entertaining and well done. And yeah, you should watch that if you're looking for some fun, spooky Halloween vibes. So we are home, and let's see, what am I gonna do for the rest of the night? So, as far as writing related stuff, this is Preptober. I'm supposed to be prepping my outline for the prequel novella and the extended epilogues. I kind of have some ideas about the extended epilogues, but I'm not quite sure yet. And I've gotten most of the outline done over the weekend, so I'm kind of chilling, you know? Like I don't have anything I'm like super needing to work on. I do need to get some things printed for the author fair so that I can get my table set up and figure all that out. But I mean, the author fair isn't until November 11th, so I have plenty of time for that. I just like to get things done ahead of time so that I don't have to worry about things not getting done in time. But I think for tonight I might just relax and maybe play some more Left 4 Dead. I also did just order the very first Agatha Christie Hercule Poirot book on Kindle because it was free, by the way, if you are interested. I don't remember what it was called, but if you Google like what is her first book ever and then you look for that on Amazon, it was free. So I got that on my Kindle. I don't think I'm in the mood to read right now, but I will be probably starting that soon. So yeah, just gonna relax, chill out for the rest of the night, and I will check in with you some other time. You know, I just remembered something else that I need to do, and it's kind of like admin work that doesn't take a lot of thought, which is sometimes my favorite thing to do. I'm kind of like a nerd about just data input and stuff like that because it's something I can do that makes me feel super productive, but I don't have to actually really think about it that much. I need to update the back matter of some of my books, namely Working with the Enemy, because right now at the back of Working with the Enemy it says, if you want to read Ravi's story, follow my newsletter to see when it comes out. But that book is out now, so now I want the back of my Working with the Enemy book to say, if you want to read this story, click this link right here and go buy it right now. So that is a task I need to do that maybe I will do tonight. Also, another thing I did this weekend that I forgot to tell you guys about is I made my own cover for my prequel novella, which I think I'm just going to be calling Marriage Material, because that's the series name and it's the name of the show that the girl is going to be creating in this novella. And I'm very proud of it. I will show it to you right here. It's pretty cute. It's not like as good as my other covers, obviously, because they were done by a professional designer and this was done for free on Canva. But I'm pretty proud of it, and I am glad that I was able to make something for free that I think is enticing looking enough for people to want to maybe click on it and see what it's about. So yeah, that was another thing that I did this week. Alright guys, it is still Tuesday, but I'm gonna go ahead and call it for this vlog because it is getting pretty long. I am editing it right now and it's almost at like 45 minutes, so I'm gonna have to just call it for this one, even though most of this footage was from today. So that's insane. I talk too much. So anyway, I will see you guys next time for whatever. No, that's Julian's line. I was just gonna say I'll see you guys next time for whatever I happen to be doing next time. Bye! Because Julian Greystoke was in my head. Anyway, I will see you guys next time.